Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Competitive Battlin. And today, we're going to be taking a look at Glalie. Why Glalie? Because he too gets a Monster Mega Evolution. So, let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at old Mega Glalie. As you can see, Glalie's stats, he has a solid 80 across the board. And 80's one of those numbers that's it's not good, and it's not the worst, that's for sure, but if you have 80s in stats, you hope those are on the lower end of your stats, not on every one of your stats. So Glalie really got a short end of somebody's stick, so he could definitely use some improvement, and that's where Mega Glalie comes in. He keeps his 80s on some of his stats, like his HP, his defense, and his special defense, and that's fine, it's whatever. But his attack, his special attack, and his speed all get boosted. He gets an attack of 120, special attack 120, and a speed of 100, and this is enough to make him pretty good. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at the moveset we've run on Mega Glalie. First, let's go ahead and give him his Glalie tight. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but I don't care. And then we can just go ahead and talk about the ability. As far as the ability, you're going to want to go with Inner Focus because you're Mega Evolving instantly, so Ice Body's not going to help. Moody isn't gonna help, and plus Moody's just really unpredictable, and it affects evasion, and it's, I think, accuracy too, not positive, and it's really weird, and you know, a lot of people ban it. I'm not too much for caring whether or not you can use it or not. It's really inconsistent because it's random and it's based on chance, so just by that, it's not that good because it could severely hinder you. Alternately, it could also severely help you, but you never know what it's gonna do, so I recommend against it for that reason. Plus, I'm pretty sure it's also banned if you go by Smogon rules. And plus you're, like I said, you're Mega Evolving almost instantly, so it doesn't really matter. Inner Focus is the best bet just because, just on the off chance they hit you with, Fake Out. Well, actually, even then, I think you Mega Evolve before Fake Out, so, I don't know. Just the off chance they try and flinch you for something. Just Inner Focus. It's not like it really matters. And then you're going to want to max his attack, max his speed, and throw your leftovers, and well, you got a choice. You can go with special attack, or you have the option of not running any special attacking moves on the set at all. So if you are not, then I'd throw your extra HP. And the same goes for on his moves, or his nature. His nature, you're going to want to boost his speed, so you go with Jolly, unless, of course, you do have the option of running one special attack move on the set. So in that case, I would recommend going with Naive. So, Naive, if you want to go with a special move on the set, and then I'd also recommend putting it in special attack at that point. Or Jolly if you don't want to run that special attacking move, which I'll go ahead and go over that. That would be Freeze Dry. Freeze Dry is good, not because it has a crazy amount of power. It's only got 70 base power, but because it's super effective on water types. So that's good coverage there. Good coverage. And it also has a 10% chance to freeze, which a lot of ice type moves do that, so it's not a big deal, but the main fact that it's super effective on ice-type moves is the reason why you would consider running it. Alternatively, if you didn't want to run Freeze Dry, which is your special attacking move, you have the option of running a priority move, which is Ice Shard, and Ice Shard's good because it's priority, so that's also an option there. And then, as for another move, I don't think I went over this already, so we're gonna go ahead and go over it. Glalie, when he Mega Evolves, he gets Refrigerate as his ability. Refrigerate, it turns normal type moves into ice type moves. And that's cool and all, it makes you get stab off of it. But it also multiplies it by 1.3. So at that point you're getting stab and a 1.3 boost on it. So that's good, especially when you consider, oh boy, Glalie, he gets explosion, so you turn this 250 base power move into an ice type move that then gives you stab boost and then gets multiplied by 1.3. So I don't even know the exact number on that base power at that point, but the damage is ridiculous. So run Explosion. There's literally no reason not to. None at all. Just none. So run Explosion. Just do it. Don't argue with me. Just do it. So we're going to take a look at the next move he can run. You're going to want to get a bit of coverage for old Glalie here. So he can run Earthquake, which is great for getting the coverage. However, you don't have to run Earthquake if you want, because you can trade out this nice coverage slot in the form of Earthquake if you want. You can trade that out to for a bit more utility in the form of Spikes. Now, Spikes isn't crazy amazing, but it's certainly good, especially if you rack up the layers on it. Normally, I'd recommend things along the line of Stealth Rocks, but Spikes has the benefit of, while it can't hit non-grounded Pokemon, and, you know, it needs to be layered up to be good. The fact that it isn't affected by type can be a good thing or a bad thing. Stealth Rocks goes off typing, so anything weak to rock will be damaged more by Stealth Rocks. Spikes ignores that, and it just does set damage, which is good in some situations, and then bad in other situations. But it does have the benefit of being able to be layered up, which, again, can be good in some situations because Stealth Rocks doesn't need to be layered. However, Spikes can be layered. So, you know, pros and cons. But overall, I'd say Spikes is your best choice because considering he can't get Stealth Rocks, you know, Spikes. And it's good in terms of utility. However, if you don't want to run the utility, then just go with Earthquake, because it's good coverage. And then as your last move slot, you have the choice of running either Double Edge, which will get you a good amount of damage in the form of 120 base power, and then be refrigerated and turn into an ice type move, which will get you stab off of it, and be multiplied by 1.3 damage, which will make it even stronger. So Double Edge will be a very powerful move. However, it does have recoil damage. So if you're not a fan of the recoil damage, then what would work is Return would work perfectly fine. It can get up to a maximum 122 base power at maximum happiness, which is what you're gonna want to do, of course. Get that happiness up. And then after that, it will also be refrigerated and get stabbed, turn into an ice type, and get 1.3 damage as well, multiplied. So it turns into another ridiculously strong move. Not quite as strong as Double Edge, but you don't have recoil damage. So that is really up to your personal preference on that, whether or not you want to take recoil damage and whether or not the extra damage on Double Edge is worth that recoil damage. So that's up to you. And that will wrap up this Mega Glalie set. We're gonna go take a look at what a non-Mega Glalie will do, but be warned, those stats aren't helping nobody, so we're just gonna take a peek at what he can do. His shiny looks kind of cool with the red eyes. Not much of a change there, but as far as the ability goes, the ability, once again, Inner Focus is probably your best bet, because this set, well, it's not going to be Mega Evolving instantly. For one, like I said, Moody, it's just inconsistent. You never know what it's going to do. It's completely random. And, plus people like to ban it. I think Smogon banned it. So if you got people who like to go by their rules, you know, they're not going to appreciate you using it. So there's that. And then Ice Body doesn't help unless you're on a Hail team, and even then, Glalie's a super frail Pokemon, so it really doesn't help at all. And speaking of frailty, you're going to want to run a Focus Sash because that's frail. You're gonna die really quickly. So what you're gonna want to do on this set is go for the Naive. And actually, honestly, well, yeah, you are gonna want to go for the Naive. Jolly isn't really an option here. You're gonna max that speed and max your attack, and then throw you extra in special, honestly. That's what you're gonna want to do. And basically what this set is, it's a suicide spike leader, so you're gonna want to run spikes, of course, because that's one of the bases around this set. And then you're gonna want to run Explosion, of course, because, I mean, it's Explosion, and it helps with the whole suicide thing on the lead spikes. Mainly what you're gonna want to do is set up as many spikes as you can on the lead. Focus Sash will help you out with that, and if you know you're not going to be able to set up any more layers, just Explosion, so that way, you know, you go out with a bang. Literally. So that'll help you there. And then as for the other set, you can run Taunt. That's great on a lead, as always. Taunt will help you, well, it'll prevent your opponent from being able to set up, and it might also help you get some more spike layers set up in the process, so that's good. And then, last slot, I recommend just going with Ice Beam, really, because as far as your Ice-type moves go, Ice Beam's your best choice there, really. Glalie, he doesn't get Refrigerate because he's not Mega Evolving. I'd say you could run Freeze Dry instead, just for that super effective on Water type, but you're taking a hit to the damage on it, that's for sure. So you only have 70 in Freeze Dry, whereas Ice Beam has 90. So keep a note on that when you're considering Freeze Dry. But I'd say Freeze Dry's not a bad choice. It's just you're not Mega Evolving, so none of your stats are crazy good. So that sacrifice in power becomes even more of a sacrifice. So keep that in mind. And then that does it for non-Mega Glalie. I recommend if you're gonna run Glalie, run Mega, because Glalie's another one of those situations where Glalie's not a good Pokemon, but his Mega evolution made him good. Without the Mega, he's stuck in NU. With the Mega, he gets up to a solid OU, UU tier, so he gets pretty solid. But non-Mega, not really, so just keep that in mind. And so that does it for Glalie set, guys. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you taking the time to take a look at this video. If you liked it, I'd appreciate you hitting that like button. And if you disliked it, believe it or not, I'd really appreciate you hitting the dislike button just so I can get some feedback and let me know what you think. And as always, leave a comment on what you think, so that way I can get even better feedback. And be sure to let me know what you'd like to see me do next as far as what Pokemon you'd like to see in the sets. Leave that in the comments, and I'll be sure to keep that in mind when I'm picking out the next Pokemon I'm doing. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and have a great day, guys, and I'll see you later.